and I just did a tweet and I mentioned my cryptocurrency success, and everybody responded and was like, can you please explain cryptocurrency, because I understand it's challenging when you're first getting involved, but when you continue and you give your life to it, you do end up on top. So if you aren't familiar with cryptocurrency, basically what it is it's if you've ever been to a bank, and so you've heard of money, if you go to a bank and you say, hello, I'd like $2, they would hand you $2. Then if you were, so there's an online version of, so at the bank, you'd take those $2 and you'd say, hey, I'm gonna put those in my wallet. That same wallet, you can actually have a virtual wallet that has, it's kind of like money, but it's not, because it's not real, but it's real to the people who want it to be real, and that's called cryptocurrency. And like we have $1 bills and $5 bills, they have Bitcoins and Ethereum, and you can use those different types of money coins to buy things that are also like different alternative versions of what already exists. Like you can buy non-fungible tokens, which are, it's art. That's, you're just invest and you'll be happy.
Oh my God. So hopefully everybody knows that was satire. That wasn't actually somebody who fuck. That was done to be funny. That was not an actual person. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Tokens. Jesus. Hi. Happy Christmas Eve. I hope everybody's crypto wallet is doing well, and I hope that you're here willingly, and decided to drop by and say hi. It's been a while. I've been gone a while. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have. She was so good at like the voice breaking, like a kid, right? Like a kid when they get up in front of trying to explain something, and then they realize halfway through that they don't know. Oh my God. Okay, I guess I gotta get a hold of it myself. Anyway, yeah, if you want to get non-fungible tokens, maybe check that out. Anyway, welcome back. That's it. That's enough of the crypto talk. It's Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2021. I've been gone for a while. Actually just got back I want to say it feels like yesterday, but it's the day before yesterday. I've been having horrible luck with glasses lately. Those of you might remember a few weeks ago, I was wearing glasses and my son rammed into me and literally it gave me a black eye. I had a black eye for some time. And then a similar kind of thing happened where this was on the train. Well, it was a good segue on the train, but the long and short of it is I was wearing glasses and banged my head against the bunk. What bunk say you? This bunk say I. This bunk say I. This bunk. This bunk say, well, oh, no. You can't see the bunk in that photo, but that's a photo of the roomette that I traveled in down to Miami, and then a very similar one. Well, wait, was it? I don't know if this was on the way back or on the way there, but very similar one back up, and you can see next to the mirror, to the right of the mirror, there's what looks like it's kind of an angled strip going up and off the top, and that's actually a rail. And on that rail, there's a bunk that you can pull down. You can lie on, and ostensibly, the idea is you can sleep on that thing, but you can't, or at least I can't. There are probably people who sleep very well on those. I'm not one of them. But anyway, right, so there's very little space right when the bunk is down, and I just kind of, slam my face into it, and it has been like this ever since. So yeah, I went to Florida for, I was down there for 10 days, and evaluating, spent a lot of time. Can't really tell. I spent quite a bit of time on the beach, but doesn't really look like it, does it? But it did. Thinking about there were a lot of things coming up at the end of the year. I seem to be having issues with live streaming. I seem to be having issues, like personal issues, like health issues. It was like a cavalcade of shit. It's all happening at once. And it sucked. And it still sucks to a degree, but a lesser degree. I have to say that, like, going down to Florida, Miami, if you have the bingo. I was only in Miami for 2 days. Most of that time I was in West Palm Beach, or Jensen Beach, up and down the East Coast there. But I found it quite curative. Were there Trump flags flapping behind every pickup truck? Yeah. Were there fuck Joe Biden bumper stickers on all of the gasoline pumps? Yeah, there were. Were there Let's Go Brandon signs everywhere? Is Kyle Rittenhouse pretty much, I don't know. If I were George Zimmerman, I'd be pissed off right now, because I guess it's circumstance, right? Like, it had the George Zimmerman, yeah. It's probably a couple things, right? If George Zimmerman had killed, I don't know, like, if he'd killed a white person, yeah, it's more the circumstances of the times than it is, like, specifically what happened, I think. Right? But I don't know, I'm just guessing. But I would still be pissed off if I was George Zimmerman right now, because I'd be like, why is Kyle Rittenhouse getting the sort of deification, being a guest speaker at America First, and Turning Point America, and will certainly feature in, I don't know, Lauren Boeberts or the Ingrams or the Taylor Greens or whomever it is, talking about guns and re-election. Rittenhouse is now going to somehow be also, like, so Kim Potter cried, right? She cried. I almost hate to say this. I don't know. Shit. I don't know. This is tough. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. Yeah, no, I'm just going to say it. Like, I found Kim Potter's crying. I think that's her, Kimberly Potter, the police officer who somehow mistook a taser for a pistol and discharged that pistol with the intent of it being, her stated intent was, this was a taser that I was discharging at this person who was in the middle of grappling with another police officer. That's not like an ideal time to discharge a taser. You don't have any distance. Skin to skin conducts electricity. But regardless of that, like, I found her crying to be more genuine than Kyle Rittenhouse's sort of blithering sobs. But boy, he turned that around quick. Right? He was really, really sorry in that courtroom. He was so sorry. He was so traumatized. And then literally a week after the verdict, he's like on all of these billboards, looking as happy as a pig in shit. He'll probably join the force, right? At some point. The thing is, it's like a shark, right? Like, once they taste blood, once they acquire a taste of human meat, they need more. So that was not Rittenhouse's. That was Rittenhouse's first couple of kills. He's gonna chalk up many more, and so will his disciples, who have been, I was going to say tacitly, but it's not even tacit, who have been wholeheartedly endorsed by the right to go ahead and become vigilantes. There's nothing wrong with vigilantism. It's great. If you're a good enough vigilante, you'll be a star. So now it's going to be a question of, like, well, I gotta go bigger than Rittenhouse went, right? Like, I can't kill one person, right? It's not gonna cut it anymore. Maybe I can go. There's a BLM protest in DC in January. Oh, or maybe the counter protest for January 6th. Maybe there's something that I can do there that I'll make. Maybe that's what George Zimmerman is concocting right now, is like, how do I dethrone Rittenhouse, who I should have that throne. How can I get it back? I didn't mean to go political so quickly. I was talking about Florida. I was talking about my vacation in Florida. So I spent a lot of time with my mom. Spent a lot of time with my sister, my nieces and nephews, who are all of my nephews are now taller than I am, and I'm 6 feet tall. And it's weird. And also, all my friends' kids are more than 6 feet tall. I feel like, if you were a child of the 80s, maybe, getting all of that sugary breakfast cereal, we weren't getting quite the proper nutrition. We weren't as stunted as, the World War II kids. But we didn't get the benefits of having millennial diets where everybody's 6 feet tall plus, right? So that was really weird for me, like, going back and then seeing my nephews and being like, oh, hey, all right. feel kind of weird. But they were all good. It was one of them had a runny nose and a cough, and I was immediately like, gosh, Omicron beat me here. And if I'm honest about it, I feel like, I mean, I haven't gotten a test, but I would be shocked if I did not get at least exposed to Omicron. For those of you who didn't know, I got my booster 23 or 24 days before I went down. So I was at the maximum amount of boost that's possible. Something beeped. Oh, my humidifier. Yes. Sorry, I have my humidifier going here. Because I was back in DC less than 6 hours and I got a bloody nose. That's how quickly I reacclimated to my childhood relative humidity, which is you're basically in a spa like all the time, right? And when I first moved up to Baltimore, I had a bloody nose for almost 6 months, like every day. Every day. My sinuses were so dry. I moved up, just as winter was starting. It was like December of 2007 or 2008, maybe. I don't know. But I remember I was like, maybe this is like a thing I should get checked out. When I think I eventually did. And they're like, yeah, your sinuses are very, very dry. So I got over it. My body acclimated to the fact that now, you can't literally see water droplets in the air. It doesn't look like someone just sprayed a mist of water. But my body got used to that real quick because, like I said, I got back here, had the heater on, bloody nose. So now I have this. Maybe you can see this. Let's bring this steam. Oh, there we go. That's nice. You can have the steam in frame a little bit. There we go. Right in my face. How you doing, humidifier? Make me all glistening. Fuck up the electronics of these microphones. That's just distracting, isn't it? Especially at 24 frames a second. Let's move it a little further off. Anyway. So, yeah. Bloody nose, 6 hours. I have Kleenex everywhere now. I think it's gone. But were I to turn this off, it would probably come back pretty quickly. All right. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with my mom, who is nearing 80 years old, and talked about a lot of stuff. Talked about. I showed her my father's. Whatever. My father. So my father killed himself, and left me a note, which I've had, all this time since it happened. Oh, I don't know. 34 years ago. 34 years and 9 months ago, something like that. I've had that note all this time, and recently I was like, well, you know what? I'm keeping this thing for some reason. And I don't really know why I'm keeping it, because I can't bring myself to throw it out. I had never taken a digital image of it, right? And I was like, oh, and Apple now has all this lovely metadata that it automatically attaches to any picture that you take. So I was able to take a picture of it, and it was able to recognize handwriting, although the handwriting was so bad. One, he was a doctor, and two, he was probably, not in a really good state of mind to be writing. So I didn't recognize a lot of what he wrote, but recognized some of it. But I didn't have a digital I didn't have a digital copy of it, so if I had lost it, that would have been it. Right? So I had taken a picture of it and I showed it to her, and I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you ever even read this." She hadn't. She had like it was an envelope, right? She had never opened it. Now, I guess that was the right thing to do. But if it had been me, I probably would have pre-read it. And she was kind of upset. Like when she read it, she was kind of upset. She was like, "That's not like." She was not happy with what he wrote. Neither was I. um, but like to give you like some insight into it's ridiculous how mindsets and how like what's important to you changes, and what you take from something, and like how you can actually just be manipulative at even a very young age. At the time, maybe so that they were going through a divorce, right? Which my mom felt very guilty about, because this happened shortly after divorce proceedings. This is still turn you that way. This is a great subject to talk about on Christmas Eve. I'm almost done. They've been going through divorce proceedings, so he had a apartment overlooking the Intercoastal Waterway in Miami. And I would sometimes go there on weekends. And there was a computer. This is going to fucking date the hell out of me, but it doesn't matter. The Apple IIc had recently come out. That is the Apple IIc, ladies and gentlemen. We had Apple IIs and Apple II Pluses in our schools at the time. But the Apple IIc had just come out. And I was so excited about it. I think it was like $6,000. Like when you look at the prices of microcomputers and personal computers when they first came out, I mean, you easily were spending $12,000, right? And that was the limiter, right? And that was why, a big reason why the only people who, got rich and wealthy off the tech boom were people who had intergenerational wealth, because those are the people who had access to be like, oh, I'm going to spend $8,000 on a computer, learn how to code Pascal, and before you know it, I'll be the CEO of a company that's doing future stuff, and my name will be Bill Gates. No, that's not fair. Bill Gates, and Bill Gates has issues, right? But he was certainly a smart kid who made a lot from a little, right? But he was privileged, right? Anyway, I really wanted this Apple IIc, and I probably, like when, I don't remember, I have no recollection of the particular, like the last time I visited his apartment. Although I do remember he had one of those televisions, and it's one of the reasons I don't know where it is now. One of the reasons I got one of those tuning fork remote controls. Right, it used to be that remote controls, the first remote controls, were basically musical instruments. They were metal bars and they called them clickers. That's where the terminology clicker came from. And you click it, and it would go and make a high-pitched frequency you could barely hear. I could hear it then. Maybe I couldn't hear it. Oh no, I think I did. I could hear it. But that's how I would know to change the channel. I remember as a kid, like playing with a pile of money on the bed, and the coins clacking together must have emitted the same frequency, and the TV would, suddenly go up in volume, or would change channel, or what have you. But that all used to be sound based, right? So I remember he had a clicker, and he had one of the buttons on the clicker was zoom, and you could zoom in. You couldn't pick where you zoomed, but you could zoom in, and essentially what it was doing was doubling every pixel on an old CRT Zenith TV, which standard definition, right? It looked like shit already. You doubled the size of it. There was no AI enhancement going on here. It just seemed like the most useless thing ever. But it was a gimmick, right? It was like, look, you can zoom. If you're really old and you only want to see like a quarter of the center of the screen for some reason, and it's just going to look like a bunch of dots. But if you want to do that, we have this button that'll let you do that. Sometimes things are just gateways, ideas, right? Let's take a first step. I applaud whoever was the designer who was like, well, let's go ahead and put that in. I applaud that designer because it, this was the baby step forward to the ability to, now use different machine learning algorithms to actually take low resolution images and create fairly accurate, take like from tintypes and daguerreotypes and all kinds of low resolution imagery and be able to kind of recreate the lost information in a very Blade Runner-y kind of way that, had you asked me 30 years ago, I probably thought that would have been impossible. I've been like, that's stupid. That data does not exist. You can't create data that doesn't exist. Right? The data between those two pixels, whatever was there, that data doesn't exist. But at that time, my mind did not think of, well, what if you had millions of images with similar attributes, and you could kind of extrapolate from this data set, what might have actually been there, and then use that to recreate what would have been there. I couldn't have imagined that. So anyway, right. So the last time I visited my dad, before he killed himself, I was going on and on about the Apple IIc. Like, that was the thing. I wanted an Apple IIc really bad because it had this game called Ultima, and it also had this game called The Bard's Tale. And I was heavy into Dungeons and Dragons because I was a fucking nerd. Still am. And I probably just didn't shut up about it like the whole time I was there. So in his note he left to me, he wrote, part of it was, I'm not going to tell you the whole thing, part of it was get the Apple IIc, right? And I literally used that as like as leverage to get an Apple IIc. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, how fucked up are your priorities, Like, I went from being devastated to within a month I was like, but he said to get it. Like, that was like one of his final wishes was to get this Apple IIc. What the hell was going on in my head? Some fucked up shit. That's what was going on in my head. Oh well. Like, we deal with grief in lots of different ways. And one way that one might deal with grief is get an Apple IIc and play Bard's Tale all summer. And then play Wasteland. And then play whatever came next. And then, become a game designer. And work in game design for 20 some odd years. And then leave game design and go into machine learning and artificial intelligence. And then make an ASMR channel. And then start doing podcasts based on whatever the fuck this fucked up sort of impossible to predict road took you. But there's an example, right? Like then, so where the Apple IIc was $5,000, $6,000. So at that point, we still had enough money, and had my mother. My mother was between a rock and a hard place there, right? It was like, she probably was like, well, now I have to go back to work. What she had to do was she had to go back to nursing school to get recertified and go back to work as a nurse. The house that we lived in at the time, she couldn't even pay property taxes on. The property tax on the house we lived in was more than her salary as a nurse. That is fucked up. Like, that is like, wow. And that's, I've talked about this before, like when I went through that sort of period in my early teens where I was sort of surrounded by the young socialites, debutante cotillion attending Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, ritzy Miami doctor's circle. And then, the friends that I made after that, which were, by no coincidence, right, culturally much more diverse. And those are the people that I still consider my friends today. I'm not friends with anyone. Anyone? Yeah, no. Nobody that I can think of. There could be one that I'm missing that I'm wrong on. But nobody that I'm friends with post or pre that period. Right. So went through a lot of stuff. We're going through a lot of like pictures, and I found this picture. Look at this picture. Look at this, and see if you can think. Well, just look at the picture. Look at what is in my hand. So I didn't read comic books as a kid, so I don't know what I'm reading there. I have no idea. But I do know that I'm sitting there reading something and drinking a Coke. So, the more things change, the more Coke you drink. And is there something to take from that? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Here's another one. Oh, pobrecita. Pobrecita. Look at those teeth. I still have like chiclet teeth. Tiny little teeth. Look at that. I take close notice of the lack of an anger line between my eyebrows. There's no do you see anger there anywhere? Look at the gingham. Was it a gingham jumper I'm wearing? The hell? Whose idea was that? Wasn't mine. But, a lot of stuff happened in this area in the intervening 40 years. Something else that I learned I'd misjudged. But so I am the same age that my dad was, or 49. I'm 49. I'm going to turn fucking 50 next year. I will be half a century old. Same age that he was. He was 49 when he ended his life. And I, in going through life, I've been in psychiatry most of that time. And pretty much have said to whoever my psychiatrist was at the time, is I have suicidal thoughts, certainly. I'm depressed, certainly. Been depressed, the majority of my life, for sure. Have had trouble maintaining, it's fucked up relationships for me. I've had trouble maintaining antidepressant regimens. I've been through every first wave, second wave, third wave of SSRIs, you name it. I've tried to take them all. I'm currently thinking, here's what I'm thinking of. I've given this a go before, but bupropion, I'm trying not to show my, Wellbutrin, right? I tried it before and it felt to me like I was taking speed, but I might try it again. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, I was young once. And so there was a lot of that. There was a lot of reminiscing, a lot of my mother, I think, for approaching 80 is pretty spry, right? She's had strokes. She's had a heart attack. She has essentially spots in her brain that just don't get oxygen anymore through ischemia or hemorrhagic strokes, whichever they were. And so she'll sometimes have trouble with word recall and stuff. Is it dementia? Well, yeah, sure. It's some kind of dementia, but it's pretty mild. Mild to the point where you don't really notice it, except that, she's maybe telling you to do stuff more than once. But that's also just kind of like a thing mothers do, right? I'm talking about myself a lot. I apologize. I keep going for a little bit here, and then I promise I will go back and look at what everybody has been saying. As long as there's not like a big problem with the audio or anything. That would be typical. There's no audio in any of this. That would be typical. What do I got? So I got my notes app here, which now has checklists on it. So I check off my vacation. Is there anything else of note my vacation that I wanted to bring up? Oh yeah, fresh fish. Fucking great. I Instagrammed this picture, but I did find that. Here, let's see if I can send it out here. Yeah, come on. This is, I love, like, fresh fish is one of my favorite things in the world, right? But what the hell? What the hell is this? And snapper is one of my favorite fish, right? Oops, this is not really scaled right. This was the fresh snapper. Let's see. No, let's do this way. It's going to be easier, I think, if I do it this way. It doesn't want me to scale it. I'm trying to get it all in there, because it's... Oh, Ecamm, you still have issues. You're not perfect, Ecamm. You think you are. Okay, here we go. There we go. I'll come over here onto this mic as we look at a fresh snapper fillet. It's probably swimming in the ocean, 4 to 6 hours before I was eating it. And that's the tail there at the top. And you can tell they just, they cut off the head and sort of butterfly filleted it, left the tail on. But, yeah, looks fairly non-funginable, like a non-funginable token. Didn't stop me from eating it. That's for sure. I don't want to make it, well, whatever. Point is, it was excellent. I loved it. Was one of the, and I don't get it because, in DC here, we're right on the Chesapeake Bay. It was different fish, right? Different fish and crab is, a really big thing here. But I hate crab, except for stone crab. But you can get fish, really fresh fish, really cheap. And that was really fresh fish. And it was really cheap. And it was fresh in more than one way. And someone had to notice that. I don't think I was alone there. And the weather was perfect, right? Was not the insane amounts of heat that you get there. I mean, it was still, 85 degrees in the afternoon, but it actually cooled down at night. And the point is, if you're near the water, nothing feels as bad as the kind of stale, it's a sauna, but, it's a sauna with a breeze. At least you got a breeze. When I lived in Orlando, and even up here, when it gets to that kind of heat where there's just nothing moving, and the radiant heat coming off the asphalt, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get dispersed. It just goes to you. It's like being in an oven. It's the difference between an oven with the door closed and an oven with the door open, I suppose. So yeah, I loved it. I loved being down there. Saw some friends I haven't seen in a long time. I wasn't able to see anywhere near the number of friends that I wanted to see more, but I didn't want to. Basically, like, my fear was exposing my mother. Right? I didn't want to make her sick. So I really wasn't able to see as many people as I wanted to. But, I did what I could. And I enjoyed it. So yeah, okay. Let's knock that off the list, which is one of the new iOS features in Notes. My face is right here. Dumb piece of crap. Trains. That's really part of it. I've already kind of talked about it. I happen to love riding on trains. I will note that the last time I rode on a train, the car was definitely still from the 80s or 70s, 80s, I guess. And they actually updated them. I used to go on train rides from Baltimore to Miami all the time, and I enjoyed it. I liked doing it. It was a kick. I could unwind. I could get footage to use for some unforeseen. I did a video of a vlog on the train on the Phoenician Sailor channel using only an iPad. Like, it was kind of a challenge. I was like, I'm stuck here for 24 hours. Let's see if I can make a video, edit it, and upload it using only an iPad. And that was like 4 years ago. So if I had done that now, technology is amazing. Certainly beats the Apple IIc. But anyway, the train coming back was delayed, and it ended up being something like a 30-hour ride. So I was doing pull-ups on the upper bunk. I was doing pull-up on the upper bunk. To try, I was starting to like pace. It was getting to me at that point. So trains, checking that. Look at that. Like, puts it away. Does all that kind of stuff for you. News of note. Well, we already kind of talked about. There's a lot, right? Like, so much happened. So much has happened. Chris Cuomo, which, by the way, like, fuck that guy. I don't know. I'm not sure why CNN kept him on for as long as they did, except that, like, I guess he was charismatic, I suppose. But I'm really, like, the more I watch the news, or I watch our pop culture talking heads, the purported intellectuals on the left and right, who we're left with, like, they're vestiges of we don't have a choice. They're being spoon fed to us, and we are. You got to have a person of the year, right? You can't just. I guess you can't just say, look, this year was. Nobody really deserved it, and we're not going to, like, individually acknowledge, like, say, somebody who came up with mRNA vaccines, or maybe that has already been done back when mRNA vaccines were actually nascent, right? They've been around for a while now. Maybe I don't want to speak out of school here, but Elon Musk, man, really? Like, Elon Musk, I don't get this guy. I don't understand. Apart from his branding, he came from wealth, right? He came from intergenerational wealth. He was an angel investor, and he started, like, this an online bank, and then got acquired or merged with some other company that formed PayPal, and then made an obscene amount of money with PayPal. then started acquiring and or getting into other companies that used huge amounts of government subsidies. Huge amounts of government subsidies. SpaceX, get the fuck out of here. And Tesla, with the credits they were getting, come on. And which is fine, great, do that. But and what he's doing now is trying to pull the ladder up behind him, right? He doesn't want anybody else to have the benefits that he had. And frankly, like I just, he's an engineer, so he has some base level of understanding. He has some base level of intelligence when it comes to mathematics and logic and, possibly lateral thinking. Is he a visionary? He's a gambler. He's a gambler, right? I don't know that he's any more visionary. He didn't play it safe, right? And he went where he thought, what was personally interesting to him, right? Like I'm sure he read Douglas Hofstadter when he was younger. So did, I'm sure, Lana Wachowski, having recently watched the first half of the new Matrix movie, to the point where she's quoting, almost quoting verbatim Douglas Hofstadter's GED, an eternal golden braid, and I am a strange loop. And Hofstadter isn't necessarily like the first person to do that stuff either, but anyway, yeah, Elon Musk, person of the year, horrible choice. Is he, he's just a fucking jerk. That's what he is. Like, have you heard the way he talks about, like, or to his employees, his ideas about like COVID and how to protect yourself from COVID, and this sort of persistent delusion that a certain group of people seem to, like, they can't be shook from this idea that, like, not taking a vaccine is only a personal risk, right? It is not a shared communal risk. And the guy's smart as fuck. I'm not saying he's not smart. So he certainly understands the idea that, give lots of vaccines, take the vaccines. Doesn't matter. If you're going to be asymptomatic, you can still spread, and you can still create human people. We've gone over this. At this point, I'm repeating myself, but some of his ideas on that subject and some of his tweets, which luckily are archived, are pretty damning. He was bragging about how, like, SpaceX employees didn't miss any work, right? Fuck that guy. What else happened? Joan Didion died. Joan Didion, who I had personally had like a love-hate relationship with their work. I was not a fan of like all of the magical thinking that came out of the year of magical thinking. So I'm not a fan of that kind of fiction, but I mean, what she did was phenomenal, and she suffered a lot. Like, she had a lot of pain in her life. So that sucks. Yeah. Something else that, like, Elon Musk, and having just watched, again, like, part of The Matrix, this whole idea of simulation theory, like, or the general ideas around simulation theory, very similar to the arguments that were presented, 30, 40, 50 years ago, the Drake equation, trying to determine the amount of sentient life in the universe. There's, if you have X amount of sentient life and Y amount, and this decreasing subset, they don't destroy themselves, they acquire technology, they get the ability to run simulations that are indetectable from real world experiences, just like the Oculus. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Oculus anymore. It's just Quest 2, whatever they're calling it. I think it's just Quest 2. Got to see that in action. Yep. It's wireless. That's good. Still don't like it. And I'm old, and I'll be slow to adjust. But give me good augmented reality. I don't want to. I'm a blue pill guy, right? Like, put me in the chamber and make me happy. I'm fine. I don't really like make that much of a distinction. I don't feel like there's that much honor in suffering. Just so you can say, well, but it was real, because how do you know? But simulation theory to me is that's something that Elon Musk was espousing, and it was around for a while. It's not like he came up with that. Although when someone like him says it, when he says it, and it gets very popular, very suddenly, if you're looking at the word dictionary, it always kind of shows like the decades in which these words were popular. Simulation theory spiked after Elon Musk tweeted. I just feel like all of these things are so ridiculously anthropocentric, and we don't have the ability. We do not have the ability to know or recognize. We're very quick to just say, okay, what is life? We're very quick to say we know what life is and we can define it, but we don't, and we can't. And what we define as life is very narrow, and that's because, right, we don't have the brains to parse anything with which we are not on some level familiar with via analogy or direct experience or related experience. Coming up with something whole cloth that is not a descendant, and we talked about this too, right, or a portmanteau of a bunch of other pre-existing ideas is nigh impossible. So we start with this idea that, the premise from the start is flawed, because we're saying, all right, well, life develops, right, on X number of worlds. For all we know, Earth is part of a much larger organism that, or another thing that is defined or thought of as life or has some kind of sentience that we can't understand. So just like the idea that when life develops, they're definitely going to progress and make like computers like we did, and they're probably going to look like us, but they won't have hair, and they're going to have longer fingers than we do, but they're going to have fingers, and they're going to be bilaterally symmetrical, but they're going to have big eyes, and they won't have noses, they'll just have holes. And they're going to fly in things that are like planes but don't have wings. But they're going to be metal, and they're going to be carbon-based, these life forms. And they're going to make simulations. And therefore, from that initial flawed premise, we are all living in a simulation. It's far more likely that we're living in a simulation than not in a simulation. I love the idea. I love it as like a as a epistemological sort of conversation starter, an icebreaker. right? And the philosophical sort of gears that those ideas get moving, but literally, I'm very just color me doubtful, dubious. Chris Cuomo, Matrix. Here's something else. I could probably talk all night. Feel free to drop off and enjoy your Christmas Eve. I will get to people though, and just in case you're worried about that. And there are people that I know, if they're listening right now, are going to be upset by what I'm about to say. But I do feel like we're in a state right now where we are very willing. We are, as a culture, traumatized to the point where we are accepting mediocrity as something more than mediocrity. The poster boy for this is Ted Lasso. So I have in the past month or so, I'd been on dating sites, right? The ones that I'm not banned from. It's an interesting point. I am permanently banned from Tinder, and I am permanently banned from Hinge. They won't tell me why. The only reason I can think of as to why, because I haven't been speaking to anybody on these platforms except to say like, "Hi, what do you like?" "Oh, what do you like?" "Oh, that's cool," or "That's not so cool," as we'll get to in a moment. But I'll use images, thumbnails from videos. So I don't know if they have an algorithm where they're just like searching and they're like, okay, well, this image was taken from YouTube. Therefore, this person is not a real person. Ban their account. Right? And I've tried to appeal, and I just don't hear anything. Right? So, but my point there was not to get sympathy for the fact that I was banned from Hinge and Tinder. There's always Bumble. My point was, gosh, a lot of people like Ted Lasso. Like an amount, if it were to be expressed in a percentage, my demographic, age group, I would say not only are, it's not just that the people like it, it's like they're very effusive about their like, as in they're using that as like one of their defining characteristics, i.e. it's in their profile. And whatever, okay, like I'm not going to retread the Ted Lasso ground. Some people really like Ted Lasso, and there are people who like Ted Lasso who have, it's not an indictment in my mind. Who the fuck cares what I think? But it's not an indictment in my mind of a lack of a critical eye or whatever. Like, people can even be like, I like Ted Lasso, and I acknowledge it, for what it maybe is, which is, I just don't want to insult it. I don't want to insult Ted Lasso. I feel bad. I feel bad insulting it, but it just seems like it's sort of become the poster child for me of a certain type of show or entertainment that we are now sort of wholeheartedly and fully embracing. And that was not why I started going down this path. The reason I started going down this path was because I feel like there's like another thing that's happening in entertainment, which I don't like. Which, boy, this is fun, huh? When it comes to movies, and I noticed this. This is pre-pandemic, but the pandemic has certainly given a lot of oxygen to this fire of a way of doing things, whereby, like, I've seen a lot of movies recently where it just does not. A couple things. It doesn't feel like. It feels like movies have almost, like, in a way, gone the way that specializations for medical doctors have gone. And what does that mean? What kind of bullshit are you yakking on about? I feel like it's like, okay, we have this story, we have this script. Now, there's an efficient way to do it. There's an inefficient way to do it. And there's the ultra mega efficient way to do it. Now, the efficient way to do it would be, okay, we're not going to shoot chronologically, right? We're going to group things by when they're needed and by when certain actors are not available, et cetera, and do things that way, right? The inefficient way might be, no, we're shooting this thing chronologically, and it means everybody is going to be on set, and we're all going to live, like, in a village, essentially, of this this production for its entire for the length of it. And then there's the ultra efficient way, which is what I'm seeing. I don't know that I'm seeing this, but it feels like it when I'm watching some of these movies, where it's more like, okay, let's surgically cut this up so that, we only have our A-list stars on set for maybe 3 days. And we're going to shoot all the cutaways, when they're talking to other people, totally different days. We're going to introduce devices by which, they don't have to be in the same room. I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound like I'm slamming ASMR collaborations. And by the way, I saw a wonderful ASMR collaboration last night by Tinglesmith, Murder on the Orient Express. Thought it was great. But it's clear when you watch that, like, hey, these people are not all in the same place at the same time, right? And that, in an ASMR collaboration, is expected. But when you start to notice that in a movie, not so much. There's something organic being lost there. And maybe it's in my imagination, but I'm either more sensitive to it now or it's happening more now. And I think it's maybe a little bit of both. But you lose something ineffable there. Well, I don't think it's ineffable. I think it's when you have a particular story and you have, like, a particular state of mind and you have certain things that you want to do and you want to get to, certain places that you want to get to emotionally, certain things you want to illustrate in a particular narrative way, right? Your limitations, there are so many limitations already. Don't add to those limitations by also being like, well, this person's only going to be here for 2 days, right? Or we're not going to have all these people together. Now, I understand, like, with COVID precautions, maybe there are cases where it's like that's intentional, but I also see, like I said, pre-pandemic, you can see it's like we paid Bruce Willis for 2 days and he's not going to be here for 1 second longer than that. So we got to shoot all of his shit, like, in those 2 days. And it shows, right? And it just doesn't feel like, I guess I just feel like when you have the entire team, and I'm really, like, I'm out of my depth here, right? But I'm drawn, oh, there goes the water. I'm drawing these conclusions based on how game development worked when I was in game development. You know, having a group of people together working on the same thing together, and they're all sort of involved to greater or lesser extents on the entire thing. It just feels like you get a more cohesive experience. The choices that you make are not limited by anything more than like, this has to be shot on cameras, right? We have to use CGI for some things and not for others, right? But we're not using CGI to try and put an actor in when they weren't there, right? That kind of thing. It just feels like it's becoming less and less of a group effort and like something that can be done asynchronously. And I feel like it's showing. That's all. Feel like it's showing. What else? So I'm checking that off. Oh, checking that off. Got to that already. Hey, this is kind of Christmassy because it has to do with lights. I have to talk about this. I'm sorry. This is going to be boring for some people, but I was very excited by this. In that, as some of you may know, like I'm a light aficionado. Right? I'm into lighting. I like it. I enjoy it seeing what you can do, like within certain constraints, seeing what you can't do, and the evolution of that, right? Like 5 years ago, when I was working with making videos, I was using flood bulbs and clamp lights from Home Depot. And, $10 for the light bulb, $7 for the clamp. Get a couple of those, point them at you. That's what you got. And that's it. And that works, right? And that works for some people. You get a ring light, get a ring light. Got it. That's it. But I also relied a lot on post, right? Like that used to be something that I did a lot, but I find that like now I want to do less and less work, but I don't want to backslide, right? And I would always be looking for like who makes good lights, right? Because that's really where, like, I feel like if you're into making videos, like I'm going to put it up there with as important as the camera, right? Are the lights. Now, that's not to say that you can't have a good setup with very inexpensive lights. I'm talking about like if you want a lot of versatility and the ability to do a lot of stuff, you need to have good lights. And that's more than just like good quality lights or a good quality of light, a good CRI. So I had been looking through like different types of lights, and for a while I was into Intellitek's, which I still like a lot. I still have one of them operating right now, which is the back hair light there. But generally, I think since the release of the Aperture MC, I've fallen in love with Aperture Lights. So Aperture, they're not sponsoring me or anything like that, obviously. But their ecosystem got its final piece just over a month ago, which I just got a couple of days ago. And it was the missing piece for which I was using a different kind of light. But now I don't need to, because now, in my opinion, for me, for what I'm doing, Aperture's got it. They've just got it. They've got everything, right? So what are the Aperture lights that I'm using here? I have right now, this is overkill, right? like you can see on the right side of my face, um, the left side of my face, there's, kind of a kick light that is sort of a gold, a slightly gold, like maybe a minus green on there. And it kind of goes over into a blue and a lavender, right? And then I have my straight up key light, which is right there, right? Which is just daylight. Well, it's not daylight. I can go between like, I don't know, 3,200 Kelvin and 8,000 Kelvin or something like that. But it's white light. When Aperture came out, well, this is my first Aperture light that I ever had. This is the first Aperture light I ever owned. This thing. And it was actually part of their Amran line, which is like their cheaper line. And it's just it's out of battery. Is it out of battery? Out of battery. But it's just a white light, and it had like a little magnetic front on it. So you could put a diffuser in there. It was little, and it lasted a long time. I don't really use it anymore. Then they came out with, I gotta go over here. Oh shoot, I'm getting old. Yeah, so this one was the game changer for me. This was the one that made me say like, oh yeah, Aperture has something special going on, right? So this is a light that has magnets on it, and it's RGBW. So this light could be any color you want it to be. And they're not very bright, right? These are not very bright. They'll last about 3 hours without needing a charge. They charge wirelessly. Oh, look at this. Oh, here we can do this. There's a good way to show them. But one of the coolest things about them was the fact that you can just kind of, pop them wherever you want. And you can hide them in spaces. And there's a lot of versatility like this. Get out of the way there. Right, like I got one here. Lighten up this dude. I think I must have 5 of these, right? And they're not very bright, right? They're not. Their output is kind of low. But the truth is, if you're in a studio situation like this, right? If you're in a situation where your lights don't need to be across the room, you generally aren't going to need super high-powered lights, right? So, but they have those too, right? So I have. Okay, let's go through the ecosystem, because this is the part that I like the best, is that, they have a really good app, which I'm running right now, which allow you to, oh, good night. So you can see the only light that's on right now is the light above and behind me that, like I said, is the Intelitech. And that's turning on all the Aperture lights. So what they had was, here's my main key light. Oh, no, it's not my key light. What was that? Where's my key light? Main key light here. Turn that off. So I'll go through these and kind of, you can see what each one does. I have a hair light on here that was giving me, what was it giving me? Oh, see, it was giving me the blue. It's giving me a little bit of blue on the hair, right? Like I wanted it to kind of go gold into blue. So that was what was giving me that, right? Let's see what else we got. Okay, they also make, kind of like a Philips Hue light bulb. And I have that in a regular old, well, it's a rather interesting light fixture actually, but it's just a light fixture, right? It's one of these, which I realize now you can't see, but it's a B7C. So, they have light bulbs that you can then put into your practical lights that you want to show on screen, even though that one's not showing on screen. Sometimes it is. Right now it's not. And then what else do we have? Oh, well, like I said, I got the one on the dude back there, which is it you? No, it's not you. I gotta name these. I didn't name these right. It's you, right? So you could sit there and you can kind of play with it until you get, the color you want. But you can see this all happening live, right? That's what is so appealing about them for me. And the light that they were missing up until just recently, the light they were missing is this one that is on the side of my face, which I just got. And it's here, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's a P60. Yeah. And again, it is a, fully messable light. That's what I like to call these, just like messable lights. That you can set to whatever you want, and it gives you sort of nice interface for messing with it. Super bright. Oh, super bright. Like right now because I have so many lights going on, I actually have my camera set, my aperture set pretty, is pretty closed, and my ISO is pretty low. That is really, really bright. It's brighter than it looks. But that's the light that was missing, in my opinion, from their ecosystem. And now that they have that, I feel like every light that I have now, let's turn it back on, is taken care of via Aperture. Like there's an Aperture light that I don't have up here. It's downstairs in the basement, and that is the one that I use with the Fresnel for throwing shapes. Right, you can focus it through a gobo, and you can get shaped light that way. So I was so thrilled when they came out with this light. Which, can I bring it in frame? My guitar. Can I bring you in frame a little bit? Oh, you don't want to go back down there, do you? Okay, stay there. They had a version of this light, but it was like $1,600 for the Nova, is what they called it. But this is $300 and something, which sounds like a lot of money, right? Because you can get, and you don't need lights like this, right? Like it doesn't. Nobody needs lights like this. And GVM makes colored LED panels as well, and they're much cheaper. The problem with those lights and most inexpensive LED lights is when you lower their intensity, if they're colored, well, that's not doing it because that's not a colored light. But if you lower their intensity and they're a colored light, let's do it with this one. What usually will happen with them is they will lose their, like, look at that. That, it's just a little, I actually like that. Like that. It's more subtle. Not so, hey. But less expensive lights will, at a certain intensity, will lose their mixing ability, and they'll just turn to be red or green or whatever the hell color is the nearest primary color. So you can't have like a low. You can't have a low intensity light of a certain color. So I'm a big fan of Aperture Lights. And they're pretty much all I ever use anymore are Aperture Lights. All controllable right here. Good night. Good morning. I'm like, oh, well, that's I don't know about that. the light bulb reflecting against the wood shutters in the back there. Maybe we make that a little redder. Well, that's kind of interesting when it gets into that magenta or that kind of burgundy. That's kind of nice. Here, brighter? No. Kind of like that. But you can see, like, you can fiddle with this shit all day, right? And you don't need it, but it's a nice to have. And if you're doing something where you're trying to set up, especially if you're trying to set up, like you're trying to mimic a scene, I used probably like 3 or 4 separate lights when I did the Midnight Mass video. And you don't need it. Well, but it's a nice. How am I playing my own? Somehow I went to playing my own live stream here. That's weird. Okay. So yeah, that's what I wanted to cover with lights. Go back to my notes. I can check off lights. Already talked about Elon Musk. Fucking weak intellectual. Omicron. I don't think I need to talk about Omicron. Do we need to talk about Omicron? Do I want to talk about Jordan Peterson? I don't. I don't want to do that. Fuck that guy. Let's do this. I had to move. Oh, is this? Yeah, you're there. Yeah, you can see. Well, you could have seen this already. Hi. Putting it right here. So what else can we talk about? See, then as I grab a guitar here. I'm also a fan of these super snarks. Little tuners. Although I think my whole guitar is actually about like a half step down. That's the guitar portion of it. Oh, geez, writing with ink. What are you doing? All right. Can we bring up comments here? Yay! We can bring up comments. Let's say hi to everybody. A lot of people. Gosh. I can't do this. It's too many. Too many. I apologize. Let's just go kind of near the bottom. See what's up. Hey, Q. Oh. Oopsie daisy. Caron Delet. I haven't seen you in a while. Nasha. Hello. Ms. Hello. Lisa S. Hello. Carolyn. Hello. Oh, Carolyn was the one I was thinking of when I was shit talking Ted Lasso. Sorry, Carolyn. Grace's Grove. That was a good question, Grace Grove. It's doing that thing where I can't. Don't know how you get. They wouldn't tell me. They would not tell me. Oh, I don't know. Does Ted Lasso suck? I don't know. It's just not for me. I'm surprised at all these. Who is Ted Lasso? I thought everybody knew who Ted Lasso was. All right, let me turn you off. Are you off? Get that? Yeah, Tinglesmith. So yeah, he did a collaboration based on Murder on the Orient Express, and it was him and ASMR Weekly, I think. And I was there. I enjoyed it very much. I like seeing what people do with that kind of stuff. And then I think, ooh, looks like a lot of work. I'm definitely not doing that. Let's see what else. Did I say hi to Haley already? Hi, Haley. Indigo. You can stop sending super chats. Lexi, Pavi, Isra Khan, how are you doing? Does anybody want to chat? If anybody wants to chat, y'all know what to do, right? You just gotta. I gotta get out of this. Nobody cares about. Everybody can see the chat already. It's just me who can't see the chat. I don't need to do that. All I gotta do is buy a Ridge wallet, and then we can chat. No, you know the drill. You all know the drill. If you want to talk about like your worst Christmas or your best Christmas or something terrible that happened to you or something wonderful that happened to you. Maybe. Who is it? Is it snowing? Like, for whom is it snowing right now? Is there anyone in chat for whom they're having a snowy Christmas Eve? Because me, no. Nope. Indigo, you deleted YouTube for a while. Okay, but you came back though. Right on, Nasha. Oh, give me a break. Oh my gosh, Haley. So one of the it's literally a joy in my life is seeing when Oopsie Daisy, when Haley puts out I don't know what, I'm going to say Oopsie Daisy so that people know I'm talking about Oopsie Daisy ASMR. When Oopsie Daisy puts out another video, like, and so many of them, right? Like, she's very consistent. And the lighting is just amazing every time. It's amazing every time. I'll tell you, here's my pet peeve with lighting. And I've done it. And so it's going to sound like I'm calling people out, but I'm not. I'm calling myself out too. But my pet peeve is really like when you do that red on one side, blue on the other. Not you, Haley, uh, but generally, like a lot of people will do like a red, blue, or you know, teal, orange, whatever, um, and that's it, right? Like, fine, and in a lot of cases that works, and it certainly has a place. But I mean, it's kind of overused. It's weird to me now. Like, also, like, since I'm talking about movies, like when you watch any movie you watch now, and I was noticing this in The Matrix too. Like every scene is so interestingly lit that like none of the scenes are interestingly lit. It starts to become everything kind of looks video gamey, right? Like because it's just like there is not a scene that does not have dramatic lighting. Um, you know, movies take place. I understand they're generally like heightened reality, but when I go back and look at like a Wim Wenders movie or a Wim Wenders movie, um, the stuff that Wim Wenders does with light is amazing. And I know like film, if you're shooting on film, and I thought Cary Joji Fukunaga was very good at this too. And I also realize a lot of this has to do with the DP and not the director, right? So you have Roger Deakins, then you're all good, right? Um, and I also know, right, like if you're making a movie about the Matrix that is kind of like self-aware and self-referential and also talking about video games and also kind of like winking and nodding at the audience that, lighting it like a video game is not the worst thing in the world. But generally, like almost every Netflix special you put on, there's so much overly dramatic lighting that to me, it just almost like takes away from it. But anyway, my point that I got off of was oopsie daisy. I'm assuming everybody who is listening to this right now is a huge fan of Oopsie Daisy ASMR. If you're not, I don't know what's wrong with you. Because it is one of the great joys of my life to see all of the stuff that Oopsie Daisy comes up with. And like like I love it, and it also makes me tired. Like I'll see she comes out with something, and then like 2 days later, again, and then again, and then again. And the lighting and the makeup work that she does, it's just like I don't know where you get the energy, honestly. I'm suspecting there might be more than one of you, but it's great to see, and I mean I want to say keep it up, right? But keep it up if you want to keep it up, because I love seeing it. Grace's Grove. I said hi to Grace's Grove, didn't I, Grace? Oh, is this one? This must have been my turn. Okay. Everybody's going to make fun of me for being behind in chat. So let me come on down. Come on down to the bottom here. Oh, Karen, you did not need to do that. A purple mustache. I don't know what that means. I'll stop now. But I'm being honest, right? Like, I mean, like you see some people. Okay. Some people find something, and then they are good at that thing, and people want that thing, and then they do that thing. They do it over and over and over and over and over again. It's kind of what I want to do. Like I am very sick of, personally, like having to, when I'm thinking about an idea, think, well, is this going to be better or worse than the last video that I did? Is it going to look better? Is it going to look worse? It's ironic how little I think about, like, is it going to sound better or is it going to sound worse? Um, but what I want to do is just like kind of, and this is great. This brings me to the future. I can only say what my current plans for the future are. I can't say what my ultimate plans for the future are going to be. And I can't say that this won't necessarily change. But here's what I'm thinking. And I'm happy to take, let's see, let's see. Am I able to do, give me a second here to take a look at something. Am I able, oh my God, we hit 2,000 subscribers on Beyond the Double Red Doors. That's big for me. That's big for this. I'm very appreciative of that. Wow, that's great. How does one do polls in chat? Isn't there a way to do that now? Let's create a poll. Okay. I'm creating a poll. I would like to know from you, the audience, from these options. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking and what I'm curious about. Here's what I would like to do. I'd like to continue doing, well, you know what? I don't want to say what I'd like to do. Okay, poll. Here we go. What should I do in the new year? I'm not telling you what I'm typing until it's done. Oh. What should Scott, that's my name, Scott. What should Scott do? Okay. It's very few, give you very few characters. Okay, that works. All right, let's try this one first. Okay. All right, I'm selecting create the poll. I guess I gotta have 3 at least. Gotta have 3. I wanted it to just be the 2 things. I'm not gonna put whatever you want here. I'm just gonna put don't select this one. Now, as a joke, but you're gonna select the one that says don't select this one. But I would love it if you didn't select the one that says don't select this one. All right. So there's a poll. Let's give it a minute. Because I'm gonna drill down further into it. This is oh, look at this. Wow. Okay. Well, that's kind of a that's a referendum right there, right? Shall we call it? Let's call it. I think we can call it. Yeah. So what I'm kind of batting around, the idea that I'm kind of batting around is I'm not as interested. Like I was very, very precious about um, what I put on the main channel versus what I would do here. So I kind of originally I saw this as like, well, this will be like a proving ground or like a rehearsal for things that I might do uh, on the Phoenician Sailor channel. More and more, I've just kind of come to feel like, well, like I just want to do whatever the hell I want on that on the main channel. Like I don't want that to be like the analytics on that channel are dismal. Like they're really in the shitter. Um, and it's in part because I'm not posting very often. And there are other reasons, right? There's the market has gotten a lot more competitive, right? And it's hard for me to, it's difficult for me to post the kinds of videos that I feel like people would want. Um, yeah, more positive videos, more straight trigger videos. Um, so there's a part of me that was kind of thinking, all right, well, why don't I just do like everything on that main channel? And if it's called, if the video itself is called Beyond the Double Red Doors, then that goes on a playlist, kind of like when I had first started doing it. But everything would be on that channel. But it doesn't sound like that's the like that's what people want. So I shan't do that, I don't think. But I do want to start posting more on the Phoenician Sailor channel that is not something that has to be a big production, you know? So we'll see. We'll see. I gotta. Wait, what happened here? What is this? You didn't say a word when you joined, but you won't be rude a second time tonight. Good night, everybody. I hope you have a super nice evening, Christmas Day. Why would it be rude? I hope that you have a good Christmas as well. And happy holidays. Well, no, but Grace, this is not what this is not what I want to do. Like, I kind of feel like that's what I'm doing right now. By not changing, I am pandering. Oh, bye, Isra. Thank you for coming by. Hope you have a good Christmas. Like, what I want to do is just like whatever the hell I want, and not feel like, oh, well, I can't do this on this channel because people expect this. Like, I want to just, if I want to do a live stream, I want to just do it, and not think about it. So it's weird. Like, there's two ways of approaching it, right? Let's see what we got here as far as people wanting to talk or not wanting to talk. All right, let's try this. No, 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 no. Where's my interview window? Where's my interview window? Ooh, they changed it. They changed it. Very clever. Very clever. All right, so replying. 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 All right, so rep got some people who have some Christmas stuff they would like to share. So let's check that out. Yeah, I don't know. Would it? I don't know, Grace. It's like a big. It's a big mystery. I don't know what it would do typically when I post live streams to that channel. I lose a couple hundred subscribers every time I do it. But I mean, do I want those people? I don't know. All right, I replied to some people who sent an email. So let's hear. Let's hear some Christmas stories. I know who this is just from the name. Taylor. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, I don't want, but you know, confusing people is, well, I don't know. I feel like also confusing people could just be like a temporary thing. I don't know. I appreciate all the ideas. Let me bring in somebody y'all know. I think you all know. Maybe y'all know. Pretty sure you know. I'm not sure how it looks like the audio is weird, so let's see if this actually works. Hey, Ms. Oops. I don't think we're hearing you. Let's see, hold on. Is it me? Could be me. Y'all know. I think y'all know. Can you try? Maybe y'all know. Talking? I'm sure you know. I'm not sure how it looks like the audio is weird, so let's see if this actually works. Oh, it's really, really delayed. Try one more time. Hey, Ms. Oops. I don't think we're hearing you. No, there's no way. This cannot possibly, this delay cannot be this long. That's nuts. Can you clap, Ms.? I'm getting nothing there. How am I getting nothing there? Do people hear Ms.? Am I the only one that doesn't hear Ms.? Oh, good night, Haley. I love the those antlers. Yeah, I don't think. Can anybody hear Ms.? No, nobody hears Ms. Ms., we cannot hear you. I thought it might just be me. Is there something that maybe it's telling me on my end that your mic is muted? I don't know how it knows that your mic is muted. No? Let's see. Let's see if this... Becca. Is Becca's... Maybe this is me. This might be my problem. Can you say something, Nasha? Becca, Nasha? Why is it doing this? Can you all do... Yeah. ASL. Hold on. This could be me. Let's see if I can make sure. No, this is not me. This is you. Oh, this is me. I just found out it is me. Somebody talk.
Yo!
I hear Becca. Miz, can you talk? Miz? Oh, I think with Miz there's like a really big delay.
I hear this pretty well.
Yeah, but Ms., when you hear this, can you snap or something? Oh yeah, okay. So now everybody can hear Ms. and everybody can hear Becca. Is that correct?
Yep.
Saying Ms. is super quiet, but that might just be because Becca is super loud.
I mean, that's pretty fair.
Turn my mic up a little bit. So that works.
Yeah, Ms., you are really quiet.
I will just yell.
There. Oh, actually, well, that was much better. Where's your mic? Do you have like your mic off in a particular place? Oh, okay. Yeah. You can't turn the gain up on that server?
Yeah. Is that alright?
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I hear Ms. loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, and I hear both of you. So I think I don't know if it's just more of a lag. How are you all doing?
Well, you know, it's the holidays and we're all in misery.
Is this every year kind of thing, or is this year in particular?
No, me and my dad and, well, now Connor, we're just boring.
Can I ask who's Connor? Probably.
My nephew, who, you know, he's been living with me. I'm his guardian now.
Oh yes. So Connor is like 14 or something, right?
He is 16.
16. Okay. Yeah, I remember he was older.
Yeah.
All right, so the expectation there's no one there expecting like an actual Santa. Is that correct?
No.
And Ms., how about on your end?
Not much going on holiday-wise, but I did get that surgery last week that I spoke about last time I was here.
Wait, can you refresh my memory?
Alright, give me a sec. Oh wait, sorry, your memory, sorry. I was gonna refresh the page. I had to, I have to have a hysterectomy in order to continue on testosterone to transition. And it finally happened last week.
And
Yeah.
how was that? Was that? Oh my gosh, I have to mute Becca here for a second because she's very loud typing. That was extremely loud typing. Hold on, just for a moment. Just you can just make horrible, very mean faces at me while I'm talking. So how did the surgery go? Like, what was the recuperation like, or was it?
I'm kind of, I think, still in shock at how easy it's been. So today, Thursday marks exactly a week since I had it done. I was in the hospital for 2 days and then I was home. That was it. I got my staples out earlier today, and that's just it. They said I would be healed in a week.
And so I don't want to. Are you comfortable talking about it in any?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
just don't want to ask questions.
No, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, but are you in pain?
Not really. No, I have 4 very, very tiny incisions on my stomach, but like literally like paper cut size, and that's it. I was so surprised to wake up. Apparently 2 hours after surgery is when it's most painful, and I essentially felt nothing. I've had no issues or anything.
And was it done like laparoscopically or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah. And
Yeah.
what is the you're in Poland, right? Or
Ukraine?
You're where?
Ukraine.
Yes. Sorry. As far as hospitalization goes there, and I mean, again, like I have no idea. I'm showing my ignorance, but everything is on the up and up. It wasn't like, I mean, I'm imagining what you think a typical American would imagine when you say like a Ukrainian hospital, which I'm sure is wrong, right? So.
Not really. No, you'd be very correct. It's been a complicated kind of journey because I was supposed to have this done 3 months ago, back in October, in a public Ukrainian hospital, which is about as like, you know, Soviet as you'd expect, you know, like think concrete walls, concrete floor, think that kind of sort of
I
thing.
just rewatched Chernobyl, so I have.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know what? Exactly. Um, but that fell through because it was a public hospital, and you have to have residency in order to, you know, have stuff done at a public hospital, which I obviously don't. So it's been 3 months of calling every single like clinic around in the region, and I was finally recommended this one, which was a private clinic. So no Soviet architecture, all very new. You know, price a lot more expensive, obviously, but still very cheap considering, you know, standard rates. But they specialize in medical tourism, therefore I didn't need residency. So
Is there a risk of complications down the line, or is it pretty much like you're out of the woods? You're
um, ooh, that was a noise.
sorry,
Um,
it's someone else is calling in.
yes and yes. I mean, for me personally, taking testosterone and stuff like that, yes. I'm not going to pretend that's not. Um, I had a full hysterectomy, so that is absolutely everything. So that's uterus, fallopian tubes. Um, oh my god, I don't know anything about female anatomy, cervix. Um, but I chose to keep one ovary for hormone production because essentially you have the choice to keep both your ovaries or take them out completely. But if you do take them out completely, and especially since I'm 21, you are forced into menopause. You have an increased risk of osteoporosis and all of this lovely good stuff, unless you stay on synthetic hormones for the rest of your life.
Which
So
you
for
don't
me
want to do,
personally,
right?
no, I don't think anybody, yeah, that wasn't something that sounded super great for me. So I decided to keep one ovary just so my body can sort of continue to function. However, that ovary is still, you know, at risk of ovarian cancer, atrophy, anything. So I'm not fully, but yeah, whatever.
And is that something that would come out at a later date, or is it pretty much that's just going to stay?
You can have it out, but apparently it's quite complicated because obviously right now the whole space where all the organs were is completely empty, like a dead mall. So this ovary kind of just sort of migrates where it wants to, and sometimes it can get like stuck in like the walls of other organs and stuff because it just floats around like a balloon. So
Who designed
apparent-
who designed humans?
yeah, right. But yeah, so apparently it's a bit more complicated just for those kind of risks, but otherwise you can do it.
So is that your? Do you feel like that's like kind of your Christmas present? Are you feeling festive about it? Is that? And what's
Yeah.
the next step if there is any?
So for me, surgery-wise, I guess hopefully top surgery. It does. I have a lot of strange feelings about this actually, because personally, I don't. Kids are not something that's ever been in my life plan. So that you know, I had to sign lots of legal disclaimers saying like you cannot sue us if you decide that you want kids and you come back here angry and stuff. And I was like, yep, got it. But in a strange way, I suppose, I do feel kind of weird about the fact that in order to be, you know, like a trans person transitioning, you essentially have to sterilize yourself. Like, you know, it's not an obligation, I suppose. I know there's places in like, I think it's maybe Switzerland or Japan. In order to be recognized as a trans individual, you have to actually forcibly be sterilized. But just in terms of, you know, to avoid complications with transitioning, you have to do something like this. You know, most trans men end up getting hysterectomies because of issues that arise later on. So it's just strange that, you know, we're all kind of subconsciously sterilized. It's just
So this is not just done for health reasons. This is done so you could technically be recognized.
I think that's just the Switzerland and Japan thing. But I hope there might be more countries. But yeah, so some places it's an obligation. Some things it's, you know, a health thing. For me, it was a health thing, but it's just something that's, you know, like also on my mind that me and like thousands of other trans men have gone through this process and are essentially sterile now, just
So
for the sake of transitioning.
do you ascribe any like nefarious intent to the idea? Because like forced sterilization by governments, I mean that's a thing, right? That happens all the time. Um, like, does it feel to you like that's part of it, or do you feel oppressed in that way?
I mean, there is so much to this conversation, you know, because
Can you sum it up in
even
10 seconds?
yeah, there's levels, and specifically, and this might be, I'm gonna be a bad trans person and use anatomy terms here and not use like gender terms here, but the body autonomy that people have over themselves, people who have uteruses, is already like slim to none. So adding the kind of like when I think I said that when I lived in the UK and I was 18 and I went to the doctors and I said I'm interested in a hysterectomy for health reasons because I have a crap ton of pain, just generally. I just straight up got laughed at, you know, like in a lot of countries, even like, you know, first world developed countries, it is impossible as somebody with a uterus to have autonomy over yourself to actually request a hysterectomy and get it. So that's already.
So this is ignorance on my part, and I'm sorry, but do you have like endometriosis or anything that was, what was the pain?
I don't know, because every time I went to a doctor and said, hey, I have pain here, they were like, that's normal, because that's
Deal
just
with it.
the side effects, of having a uterus. So I was never looked at, but in my form, when they discharged me for the hysterectomy, they said that I had cysts on my ovary.
Well,
So,
wow.
but, you know, I didn't know. I wouldn't have ever known until I got cut up. And, you know, that's the reality for so many other people with uteruses, trans level or not, you know. So it's a disaster. The whole thing really is not great.
No, but I mean, the surgery itself went well. No complications, no sepsis, no,
not yet.
God forbid, you know.
Still got time.
No radiation from
No,
Pripyat.
not quite.
What, Becca? Do you have anything you'd like to add to the conversation?
All I can say is that, like, Ms. is 100% correct on how little bodily autonomy women have. I'm 36. I've been asking for a hysterectomy of some sort, or even getting my tubes tied for the past 6 years, and I've been told practically that my body is owned by a theoretical man I have yet to meet. Because I keep getting told, well, what will your husband think? Every time for 6 years.
You actually will, a doctor will say, well, what will your husband think? Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm so oblivious to this. That is that's horrible. I mean, I'm aware of like how dismissive, right, doctors tend to be of women who present with problems, and a lot of the reason why women have a higher percentage of certain kinds of illnesses are because they're just ignored, right, or they're especially obviously by male doctors, right?
Yeah.
So, in a way, then, Ms., does it feel like you're kind of getting the worst of both worlds when it comes to like the way that you're being treated by other people? Like,
Oh yeah. I said this on my stream, plugging that. That I woke up from surgery almost completely fine with zero complications after a lifetime of being told that, you know, like fear mongering, like, oh, this is going to happen to you, like, you know, this is a choice that you'll regret, you know, there's so many health risks. And I woke up in
we lost Becca there. I'm sure she'll call back.
Okay,
please
sorry,
go on.
Becca. Oh, there you go. Put it back.
Becca is, well, Becca's not showing up. Becca, why aren't you showing up?
Oh, she's been consumed by the void.
Okay, there she is.
I do not know what happened, so I'm blaming you.
That's probably a safe bet. So you're sorry. So you're in a place right now, Ms., where do you feel like how does it feel to you? Do you feel like you're in a sort of limbo, or do you feel like, okay, this is where I want to be? Like, what's? I guess I'm wondering emotionally, like, what it is that you're experiencing. Because I guess I'm trying to understand, and I just don't.
I woke up angry. I woke up so angry because just the idea that, you know, a lot of women in their lifetimes are told that this is such a big thing, this might ruin their life, there could be so many complications that, you know, like, I don't know, disable you for it. Like, there's so much fear mongering in the way of hysterectomies and stuff like that.
And this
so
is
when I
fear
woke up-
mongering that is done to prevent, to discourage people from doing it.
Yeah.
Kind of like well, you got to hear the fetus's heartbeat before you're able to.
So, but yeah, so very much I'm so grateful that the way that I had it done here in Ukraine, like it was relatively simple, and, you know, I didn't have all of that. But yeah, no, I've seen chat, and Becca's right. You, in some cases, you do, if you are married, you need to have your husband's permission to get a hysterectomy. And then if you're not married, you're given, you know, this hypothetical, what about 30 years in the future with this random man, or, you know, stuff like that. It's like you are just, you're taken down and you're boiled down to essentially your, like, genitals and your, like, primal urges or whatever, but then you're not allowed to control them for the sake of the people around you. So when I woke up and I was so fine and, like, not in pain, I was so angry that this was something that I'd been denied for so long for no reason. When I had my wisdom teeth out, that was more painful than this entire operation. In the last 2 weeks, nope, 1 week, the last week, like, I'm up and about, I'm walking about fine, I'm eating fine, absolutely nothing in my life has changed.
Wow.
The pain from waking up wasn't near the pain that I had regularly, just with, like, you know, menstrual cramps and stuff like that.
Can you
Like, it
still
wasn't
get
even
that
on the
pain
scale.
from the one ovary that you have? Can you still get?
Yeah, I mean, logically, yes. If I develop cysts on that one, yep, I'll feel it. But I have a little bit of pain today, but I think that's because I had, like, 10 staples taken out. So that's that. But, like, nothing has changed in my life, you know. I went in so worried. I bought myself so many, like, preparation stuff just in case I, like, I don't know, bled out everywhere. I didn't bleed once. Like, I am so in shock that it went so smoothly, and I'm so angry that something that goes so smoothly is treated like some kind of, like, thing that women aren't allowed to obtain. It's crazy.
Were you told that you were exceptional in that way, like, as far as how smoothly it went?
No, if anything, I was actually one of the slower recoveries. This clinic, they had, like, a real, like, trolley system going around, you know, everything on schedule. So it was me. I was in a ward. I didn't have my own room. I was in a ward, but it was still comfortable. But so there were 3 other women with me, and so they all went in and out during the day as well. And they all left the very next morning. They were up and about. They were walking around the very next morning, and they just upped and left. They just put on their clothes and just walked out the door. It was me who had to stay another night because I wasn't super 100%. But even then, that was just on my own terms. That wasn't like everything was healthy. It was just me not caught up yet. So I'm, like, considered, you know, one of the slower ones, and I'm still completely fine. Checked on my own spit.
Well, I'm glad that it went well, regardless of if it's something that, you know, obviously it's something that they're using some kind of fear mongering or scaremongering to either minimize the number of procedures that they do, or to protect their own, if it's liability reasons, or if it's just misogyny, or, you know, there's 1,000 terrible reasons why they would be discouraging people from doing this, right? So I'm glad that you were able to get it, and that it opens, theoretically, right? It opens doors for you now that weren't open before.
Hmm.
That's awesome. That's really good to hear. Becca, you have something sitting on your lap, like a beast. Of
Oh
some
yeah,
kind.
no. This is Connor.
That's Connor.
No,
What kind
no,
of dog is that? A pit?
this. Yeah, Pit and Lab. He saw that I had food and demanded his tithing, I guess, and then he just sat down.
And what's the dog's name? I'm sorry.
Maxwell Silverhammer.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, yeah. I can see it. I can see the sort of the lighthearted melody with the undercurrent of serial killing.
Ooh, I like that. Hear that?
How is your holiday
Okay,
going?
can you get off of me? Yep. It's good. You know, it's. Oh, am I frozen? Okay. It's different having Connor here now. But you know, today he was like, I learned. You mentioned Chernobyl earlier. He was like, I learned about that in school, and I saw you watching that show that was based on. Can we watch it? I'm like, yeah, of course. And then afterwards, this kid sat on our couch for 15 minutes trying to figure out how to clean up the radiation. So, you know, Christmas stuff.
I mean that betrays the fact that he has a very good heart, right?
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I was learning stuff from him. He was like, do you know they can plant sunflowers and the sunflowers will suck up the radiation and even neutralize it? And I'm like, how do you know this? I don't know it. I don't know math.
There's a real I forget the name of the channel, but there is a nuclear physicist who reacts to stuff, right? And he'll react to, like, you know, movies where they have atom bomb explosions, and recently reacted to all of Chernobyl, and I was just like glued to the screen. He
Yeah.
was basically like constantly bringing up, you know, the radiation chart, and like basically like how really, like, when I watched the show Chernobyl, for those who haven't seen it, it's a great holiday series to watch. Really kind of give you a little lift. But it was definitely like, as I was watching, I was like, nah, that was probably done like for, you know, for narrative reasons. They wanted to kind of up the sort of, like, really, were the miners naked? Like, that doesn't make any, right? Did the flashlights, like when they went underneath the reactor, the flashlights all went out? Like, really, would the flashlights go out? This stuff seems like it's kind of bullshit to me. Like when I first watched it, and then when I watched it with this physicist kind of talking along with it, basically it was like, no, this is all exactly what would happen. In fact, if anything, they might have downplayed it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's pretty fascinating now. Like, they just a few years ago put another sort of concrete tomb over the old one, right? Because it was breaking down, and essentially, like, they don't have a solution. It's good that nephew. It's good that your nephew is thinking about that stuff, because it's like they don't have a solution for this. It's just like everything is kicking the can down the road, and they're just like, okay, well, this will hold it for the next 60 to 100 years. Then we're going to have to figure something else out. Otherwise, we're going to contaminate a large part of what was, you know, the former Soviet Union. So I found that fascinating to watch. Maybe not on Christmas. Maybe wait till New Year's for that.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't become a tradition, but my dad and I, our tradition used to be, we would get drunk on the front lawn and watch the sobriety checkpoint right out front of our house.
Why
And he
don't you-
ruined it.
that-
I don't.
But that sounds like kind of a no. You don't. That's not a tradition you enjoyed.
No, I loved it, but now that Connor's here, we can't do it anymore.
Oh, I see. Okay, because that would be uh, disrespectful or somehow that would be imbuing a disrespect of police authority. What exactly?
I don't know. My dad was just like, we can't infect Connor with the stupid shit we do.
Well, I mean, it sounds like fun to me.
Oh my god, it's so much fun. We play music, we get like some fireball. It's a blast.
Do you ever shout out like?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm the one who's like, get your taser. Get him, chase him.
Make
Oh
sure
my
it's
god,
a taser.
it's so much fun. Yeah, see, I try. I do say make sure it's the taser, please.
Yeah. Hope that person has no cardiac issues, and
Eh.
well, is your body cam, coincidentally off at the moment? But so, do either of you have Christmas Day plans? Is this you all had Christmas Eve kind of open, or?
Yeah, Christmas Eve is usually like me and my dad's time. Like that's our holiday. Christmas Day, my brother's family will come over, and me and my dad make mac and cheese, homemade, and it's really good. And like that's about it, really, because it's just kind of us at the moment. But well, I mean Connor's here, so it's a little different, but it's a very relaxed holiday for us. We don't do a lot.
Does Connor have expectations?
No, this he knows better.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. How about you? Ms.?
No. So
That was quick.
we literally just watch TV. That's it. Like there's.
Do you watch like a Christmas themed stuff, or just whatever the
Oh
heck?
man, yeah, just whatever channel is on, and if they play Christmas movies, then so be it.
Wait, could you say that last part again? I lost you, I think.
Just whatever TV channel is
Whatever,
on,
just
and
whatever's
whatever
on.
they're playing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look festive, certainly.
But yeah, thanks.
This is a slightly personal question, Ms., but you have a tattoo that's like barely visible. I'm just curious what it says.
Yep, you've done this before, but
Have
it
I?
says
Damn it.
all men are cremated equal.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't remember that. How could I not remember that?
Sorry,
I won't
it's been a
forget
rough
it.
couple
Well, I
months.
say I won't forget it again. I'll probably forget it again. But that's a great
Sorry.
tattoo.
Thank you.
Well, I hope that you both and look, Becca, you have Christmas lights behind you.
Yes.
There's festivity going on there, and I have. I could, because these are Aperture Lights. I could make them Christmas. Look, you want me to go Christmassy on y'all?
I'm totally Christmas, guys. Really.
I'm really into it. Believe me. What you can tell just by the fact. Oh God, it's taking forever to load. Come on, go Christmas. How do I? Hold on. Shit. What can I
There's
do
a
here?
fine line between Pride Parade and Christmas. Just letting you know.
Oh, all I have is like, well, I could do party lights. Okay, let's do party lights. Go. Party lights. All
There we
right.
go. See. Pride, rave,
Yes.
gay club.
Christmas. Yeah.
So it's
Sorry,
very
I
festive
wasn't
here
allowed.
as well, as you can tell. So it's good that we all got in the spirit, in spite of the fact that Christmas. I mean, if you're over the age of 10, what the
Christmas,
hell is Christmas? Anyway, thank you both for calling in and chatting. And I'm gonna say goodbye because there's somebody else who I think
Just a
wants to
sec.
talk, and I don't know that
Just a sec.
Oh, Ms.
One thing. It's Q's birthday on the 30th. Be nice about it.
Is it really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Is the age a known thing or no?
I will. They can choose to disclose that, but I'm just putting it out there. That is all.
Q, my husband is ageless. So, happy birthday.
That is. Thank you for the
Early.
reminder, Ms. But yes, definitely Q. Happy. Well, I'll say happy birthday to Q. Apart from this, as well. Okay, but you all have a good evening, and thank you for stopping by, even though I was, absent for a while. I appreciate you sticking around.
You're fine. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I cannot have this party light going on anymore. That's not happening. Put it back to regular. Okay. Now this is someone who's in the guest room, but I don't see an image. But let's see what happens when we bring in this self-proclaimed, and I guess I do. Oh.
Ho ho ho!
Oh my
Merry
God,
Christmas!
You're overloading my compressor. You've just destroyed all of the equipment. Indigo, look at that. You
look so
so
gross.
festive.
Hello, hi.
How are you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing good. Like when I see myself, it's like so lagged, and so it's so weird. Like I think I'm just not gonna look at myself. But I was actually gonna do a British accent because I liked Mrs. accent, but then I forgot. So, oh well.
Well, do you want to try again?
Of course.
You can kill the lights and you can come back in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. And it is joining us is Indigo.
Hey everybody! Hi. Wait, that was so bad.
What the hell was that? No, you gotta do
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh my god. How are y'all doing? Wait, no. Oh my god, it's so
Top
bad.
of the morning to ya.
That's Irish.
Oh, it's all British.
It's all the same. Yeah, it's all the same.
I love your sweater.
Gonna say, and I just forgot it all. Like I've been kind of like a nervous ball, like watching you talk with like Ms. and Becca like the whole time. I'm just like, ah! But here I am.
How is life in? Well, you're experiencing Christmas in New York.
Yes, I am actually. So I've never seen snow before, except like a couple weeks ago. Like there was a little bit of snowfall, and I thought that was cool. But I actually saw like snow like on the ground today, and it was like a Christmas miracle, even though it's Christmas Eve.
You can have a Christmas miracle on Christmas Eve.
And I was like a bench because it wasn't that much snow, and then I like made my first snowball, so that was fun.
You made your first snowball from snow that was
Yes.
Was it like dirty or was it relatively?
It was on a bench, but the bench was like clear. Like I mean,
it was on a
I
bench,
see it, normally. It wasn't that
on the
dirty.
street, right? Like that's fine. Did you throw it?
No,
at
it wasn't
someone?
on the street. No, I just threw it on the ground. There was no one there. It was like 6 a.m. because I had work. So.
So you work in a restaurant, right? Oh.
Yes, I do.
Did you say yes?
Also, my internet is bad, so like I might like glitch out sometimes.
That's all right. So you work in a restaurant.
It better be.
So you have to be there like super early. Are you prepping stuff before it opens?
I guess like in theory, like that's what I do. Like I'm not like actually like in the kitchen or anything. Like I'm like kind of like in the front. But we don't actually like I don't serve anything because of like we don't have anybody actually sitting in our restaurant. We just like do takeout, and so we just like give them bags of food. But then I basically my whole job is just explaining to people like, hey, this is what we're doing right now. Like here's your food, and then I have to like pack orders and stuff. So that's my job.
Okay, and can you say what kind of restaurant it is? Is it or what type of restaurant?
Wait, give me some types because I'm lost with the question a little bit.
Is it like an American? Is it a deli? Is it a bakery? Is it?
Oh, okay. So it's like a Jewish restaurant. Like so they sell like they have like Jewish food there. It's
Is
pretty
it like
famous.
a deli, like
So
like deli meats and kind of breakfasty kind of foods, or is it?
it's like bagel and
Oh yeah, you
lox.
lox and bagels. Okay, gotcha. So
Yeah, I'm really pinning it down for you. I might as well just say you can come over if you're ever here. It's called Russ and Daughters. Actually, the guy from Mad Men, if you've seen Mad Men, the guy with the gray hair, he came by today. But he just was coming to pick something up. It was pretty
no
cool.
way. John.
Yeah,
Hamm?
he did. It was so cool. Like he was picking up something for his wife, and we thought his wife was gonna come, and then he came, so that was cool.
Wait, John Hamm? You talking about? The main guy from Mad Men?
No, guy with the gray hair. Yes.
Oh, I have never watched Mad Men, so I only know. I'm not impressed.
Oh, if it was John Hamm, I would have like fainted or something because he's very attractive to me. So, no, it was not him.
Close enough, though. I mean, that's one of the things about being in New York, right? Like, you never know who's going to walk in the door.
In New York, the Big Apple.
You gotta keep your cool, right? Like, you can't be like, you can't act like you're impressed by anybody.
Yeah.
Be like,
Actually, do you know
"Whatever."
who Eric Andre is?
Of course, I know who Eric Andre is. How dare you?
Okay, he came in, and this was when we were serving people, and so like I gave him his food, and he was like, "How are you?" I think he could tell that I was nervous because I love him, but I was like, "Good," and then I just kind of turned around. I didn't say anything else. Like I felt so bad. I wish I had asked how he was, but I was trying to act like all cool, but I was acting a little too cool. Like I feel like I was being kind of mean.
I mean, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's very funny. Yeah.
And what was he mentioned the other day? Well, I think I follow him on Twitter or something, but he mentioned the other day that, what was it?
I don't know why I have a
his name is
resting
an
disgusted
anagram.
face. Huh?
Hold on, I'm trying to see here if I can. Oh yeah, you can't spell American Dream without Eric Andre, right?
That's funny.
Yeah. So you have to get up super early, and do you take public transport? Yeah, I think we've been through this before. Yeah. So you love snow,
Huh?
right? You love snow.
I do love snow. I do.
But I think you're not gonna love it soon.
Yeah, everyone's telling me that. So you're not special. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna hate snow," blah blah blah. But I'm not gonna listen to them. I'm not gonna listen to that negativity.
You're gonna be trudging through 2 feet of snow, and you're gonna be like, "I still love it."
Yeah, like sometimes I dance like when I'm in public.
Can't feel my feet.
And I'm like, "Yay!" And I'm gonna do that in the snow.
Yeah, but if you're walking to like public transportation to get to work in the morning, and which I remember having to do in Baltimore when there was a couple of feet of snow on the ground, and literally like my feet were like just stinging and I couldn't feel anything by the time I got to the light rail, which would take me into work. And that certainly fueled my hatred of snow, was when I had to do something or be somewhere like in a given amount of time and deal with it, right? So you haven't yet really had that, right? Because you said there was some snow on the ground, but it's not like you've had feet of snow that you've had to kind of make your way through.
No, I have not yet.
No.
But when I do, I will be dancing. Be like,
I love the.
la 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 la. I want here, but I was gonna be like bippity boppity boo.
I mean, I love the positive attitude.
Oh, thank
great.
you. It's like an up and down kind of thing, you know.
Well, no, but it's good. If you're going to work and you're able to turn what is for most people like a sort of drudgery kind of thing, like going. Actually, I'm not talking about your job itself. I'm talking about when all of a sudden there is this obstacle between you and just getting to work, and it's something that a lot of people are like, "Oh, I love snow," but for you, it's something that's just like in your way, and it's causing you pain, like physical pain, and maybe making you late, and doing all these terrible things. And then you see someone over, on the side, like is playing in the snow or making a snowman, and they love it, and they think it's fantastic, and you want to just be like, "Fuck you, snow sucks." There you go. You're not allowed to.
No
you
one
can't-
screenshot that.
How dare you? Now this video's gonna get flagged.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
So are you? Would you say you're
Oopsies.
adjusting to?
I mean, I can say, huh?
No, go ahead. What?
Don't interrupt me. That's what I thought. I'm just kidding. I forgot. I can say all that, but then like I get angry at like the littlest thing. Like I can be, really positive, but then other times like someone would just like be like slightly in my way, and I'm like, oh! I don't say anything though. I don't say anything, but I just am like in my head, I'm like, So it's up and down, and that sounds like it's sad. Well, I mean, everybody does, but
You're talking about like
it's
in
definitely
a
up
car
and down,
or when
huh?
you're walking. You are. I gotta say, your frames freeze at the best times.
Uh-oh. I know, like, I'm in my room and the internet sucks in here, but my mom is in the living room, and there's no way I'm doing this there. That would be crazy. She'd be like, who is this guy you're talking to?
So you've adjusted to living in Brooklyn or in wherever it is in Brooklyn that you live, and you're doing good.
Yes. But I will not be living here long, because I'm applying to a couple colleges and some universities. Like in my head, my accent is so much better than this. Like, Miz, I'm sorry, you're probably cringing right now.
You got it. That's fine.
But yeah, so hopefully I'll be going somewhere. Why not? At my job, we do a British accent. I feel like I do it so much better there. No.
Well,
I'm
that
done.
was
I'm
pretty
done.
good.
But
We got-
anyways,
The both of us together, we're doing like the worst British accents and doing
I
such
feel
a
like-
service.
you're like really good at things, but that was kind of bad, to be honest.
Well,
but mine's not much
can't-
better. So
I can't be put on the spot. Like, give me a few days to like work on something, and I can maybe
No.
whip it up. But
No
if
days.
you like are like, do it now.
right now.
I can't like
No.
do it on command like
Mm.
that.
When I'm watching a British, I said I was dumb, but I'm not. When I'm watching a British, because Miz said I was great, so that makes me feel better. When I
Oh,
watch
that was
British
good, that
television,
That was good. Better.
then I feel like now that's kind of Australian now. Anyway, I was watching an Australian show actually, and it was pretty good. It was pretty funny. It was on Netflix. But I want to do the British one, but okay. Anyways, doesn't matter. I feel like I'm talking too much, so I'm gonna let you talk.
I don't really have anything to say.
Oh.
I was
That's-
hoping
that's
you'd
interesting.
fill the space.
Because when I came in, like, it's like, hey guys, it's me, Indigo, notice me. You were like talking for like probably like 30 minutes about lighting, and I was like, oh my god.
That's
Like,
a great-
notice
that
me,
was a
notice me.
great
It's all,
freeze
my
frame
life
right
is
there.
all about me.
I'm gonna grab the freeze frame that just showed up because that was wonderful.
Oh, this sucks. I hate that my internet is like this. I feel like constricted, but that's okay.
That's all right.
I guess I should say like a bad Christmas story because I've actually been thinking of one. It's not
Oh,
it's not
let's hear
that
it.
interesting though, but like it's kind of like it was like my worst Christmas, I guess.
Well, but I mean, is it traumatic for you? I don't want to.
No. Oh, I've had much more traumatic. It wasn't traumatic. It was just like I was just sad, like kid sad, I guess.
Bring it on.
All right, here we go. So, I don't think
Oh my gosh.
that my mom's ever really been like about Santa. Like I feel like some parents are like, oh my god, like Santa's real, and they have like make sure that their kid doesn't. I don't know. But my mom wasn't like that. Like she wanted to know that she got me the gift, which I kind of like actually agree with, now. But when I was a kid, everybody else was like, "Oh my God, Santa got me a gift!" And I went over to my friend's house when I was a kid, and I saw that every gift said from Santa, and I was like, "Oh my God, none of my gifts have ever said that. They just say they're from my parents." And I thought that Santa gave the gifts to the parents. I didn't know that it said for Santa on the gift. And so I remember I asked my mom about it. And then she just gave me the same explanation, like, oh, just Santa gives us gifts. And I remember one time this Christmas, I decided to just stay up a little bit later than usual. And so, like, I kind of looked downstairs, and I just saw that my mom was just, like, wrapping the presents. And I remember that it made me, like, really sad. And I was like, okay, and then I fell asleep, and I was like, okay, maybe Santa came. My mom was like, yeah, I was just, doing a little pre-wrapping. And then she said, actually, Santa couldn't make it.
Like he didn't eat the cookies because the cookies were still there. Like my mom didn't even try to eat them.
Santa couldn't make it. He had a previous engagement.
And she's like, oh, he had a so that's why he didn't eat the cookies. And I was like, what? Santa, this magical creature who flies around everywhere, decided to poop in my house? What? And I was like, that's
Wait,
crazy. And so that's when I kind of started like not believing in Santa.
What did I miss there? Like you said, Santa. Your mom told you that Santa pooped in your house. What?
Yeah, she said that he went to the bathroom, but he had a stomachache. So I was like, oh, my mind concluded, oh, he was pooping.
Gotcha. Okay, and that's why he didn't eat the cookies.
In the bathroom, like I was trying to smell it, but I was like, no, he did. Like I can't smell anything. Because in my head I was like, it must. Okay, this is getting gross, but that's just what I thought.
Right, you went in the bathroom to try and smell Santa's poop.
Yes. And then when I didn't smell it, I was like, oh, maybe he's not real. Maybe.
Would have been great if like your mom sprayed some like peppermint spray, and then you're like, oh my god, and you would have in your head, you'd be like, Santa's poop smells so good.
Oh my god, yeah, and I would tell all no, there was nothing. I was like, oh, now I the next year I was like, oh, she just made an excuse, like Santa isn't real, like.
So that was it.
Santa's
that was
not real,
the end
but
for you was that.
Yeah,
misstep.
definitely. I don't remember how old I was. I think I was like in 3rd grade or something. But
oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
I
it wasn't
remember
last
that.
year.
No,
okay.
no.
But you're still able to enjoy.
I mean, I could see that happening.
Do you have to work? You don't have to work on Christmas. No, of course. Well, it's Jewish though. Do you have to work on Christmas?
I did, but now I don't because my job decided like, oh, we're gonna have Christmas off for everybody. So that was pretty cool. But I thought for like a long time that I was gonna be working on Christmas, but I'm not. So
okay. So do you have to work like the day after Christmas or anything?
Yes.
And
I've got
like
pop
your job
off
so
on
it's
Sunday.
Okay. What's that?
I don't even know what I was saying. It's a job, but it's not like what I want to do like from the rest of my life, but it's I enjoy a rational kind of thing. I'm a little nervous for like when we open up again and I would have to be a server. And then I'm going to be going to college like right when that happens. So I'm kind of like scared a little bit because I've never been a server before. I've just been like doing takeout. And I talk with customers, but then I don't know the menu. Those are just kind of thoughts that go on in my head like every day, like whenever I think about
where are you thinking of going?
The restaurant opening. Well, I've applied to actually my aunt. She's a college counselor for a private school that I have not gone to, but she helps me out. And so we've been applying to some more. I'm just gonna name them because whenever people ask me, I get worried they're not gonna know what I'm talking about. But I'm just gonna say them, and if you don't know them, that's on you.
Right.
So here's a couple: Haverford, Dickinson, Smith, Skidmore, Mount Holyoke, Bryn Mawr, Marist, whatever, Birmingham, or whatever. That's it.
So that was like half a dozen schools you just mentioned there.
Well, that's not it. There's a lot more that I've applied to, but those are the ones I can think of at the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you know what you're what you want to do, what you want to major in already? Do you know all that stuff?
What
you want to study specifically?
Oh, English, literature, creative writing. That was so bad, honestly, but something that has to do with writing. Like a lot of schools have English majors, some have creative writing majors or minors, which I enjoy and I want to do. But yeah, for a long time I wouldn't I feel like this is so boring, but for a long time I wouldn't let myself be into writing because I was worried, oh my god, I'm not gonna make enough money, blah blah.
No, there's a lot.
But I know that whatever I know that I'm really gonna truly. What?
There's a lot of money. English majors make bank.
That's true. Well, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know anything. Like, my aunt is kind of like opening my eyes to a lot of things, and so that's why I decided, to be to do English because I knew that it was something I want to do. Like, maybe I go to college and I hate it. I don't know, but I know that I want to do it over anything else I see. Like, everything else I see, I'm like, But when I see English, I'm like, because I love reading and I like writing and I want to help people write.
And you never know, right? You might get there and then you might be exposed to things.
So
Say again?
What? Oh, I said I love writing, and I know that that's what I want to do. Bippity boppity boo.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, like, maybe you might, go to one of these colleges and you might get exposed to something and you might be like, okay, well, that's maybe it's a sub specialty within writing or something, you know.
I hope so. Like, I feel like everybody in my life that I've known, that, you know, they had one plan, and then it becomes never going to be exactly the plan. But I'm just kind of waiting for that to happen, like, to me. I'm like, can it happen already? Because I'm kind of, like, in this transitional period in my life, you know, where I'm, like, young, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just want to be there already, where I have that career, you know, I have that whatever job you have, you know, and I'm just there. And I know it's not easy. It's still, like, the difficulties there, but I'd rather be stable and knowing what I want or whatever than and have problems than, like, confused in my life and not know. But I know that that's what every kid goes through. But
well, I don't know that problem necessarily gets solved for most people, right? Just because you land in a job or have a career, I don't know that, at least, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, people I know, there's still a lot of, like, was this the right thing to do? Is this what I really want to do?
God.
Do I have a career change after a decade or what have you? Right? I don't think the questions just magically resolve, right? Like one day, but maybe if you really, if you really know what you want and, you know, it's clear to you and it's panning out for you, then, you know, you're one of the lucky ones, I think. There you go, Grace. Grace has some advice
you ended?
for you.
I will have a backup plan. I will. My backup plan was actually my first plan when I was younger was I wanted to be an actress. And my mom was like, do you have a plan B? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? But I don't want to be an actress anymore. And then I wanted to be a lawyer because I was like, ooh, they make money. That's why.
Yeah, actress is not a great actor is not a great backup plan, right? Like
No.
That's a kind of profession that needs a backup.
Oh, no. It's like you need a backup for that.
But you are in New York, so, I mean, you know, you never know.
I could make it happen.
Maybe someone from Mad Men comes in the next day and they're like, hey,
oh, no.
cast you in something and
it's funny, my job would not like that.
Again.
They'd be like, they don't like that. Like, one guy was kind of like, oh, this is so cool, like, you know, but then my manager was like, I shouldn't talk. Okay, this is going nowhere. No offense, so I don't care.
I'm not following.
But my manager was like, I wouldn't be able to make that connect. Huh?
I'm having a good time listening to you speculate on your future.
I don't know what I want for my future, and that's what, like, it scares me. And it's like, you know, what I'm hearing from you and what I'm kind of realizing is that I'm never really, like, the future's always gonna be the future, no matter where I am in life. It's always gonna be the future. I'm always gonna be thinking about it.
True, the crest of a wave, right?
What? Microwave?
It is the crest of a wave. You will ride until you die.
Crust?
Crest of a wave.
Crest.
You will ride until
Oh, that
you
makes
die.
me think of a quote that I'm not going to say from The Office. But anyways.
Quote from The Office.
What were you saying?
About crest. I can't think of it offhand.
You're not going to find it, I don't think. I think it's too specific. You're not going to find it.
Pretty big Office head.
I won't tell you who says it. I mean, I think that would be a hint, so I'm not going to.
Give me a hint. Come on, now I need to know.
Say the quote. Okay, Dwight says it to Toby. That's the hint. And it has crest.
Is it when Dwight is talking to Toby about, like, he goes in the back nook and he's talking to him about, like, secretly, and he's like, wait a minute, what do you know? Like, is it that scene?
Yes. And he says the crest of the something.
Oh, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Ha.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. Oh, you got it! Oh, I thought you
What?
liked the British one.
Losing you again. Sorry. No,
I said I thought you liked the British one. I like both.
like the
I
British
can't say
one,
which ones I like better.
but I like all the ones with Steve Carell in them as well. And Dwight is very funny. And when he's trying to figure out, I believe, a female's anatomy or something.
Yeah.
That's what you're. Yeah.
That was the scene. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Good scene. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
And with that,
Of course.
you're out of here.
Okay.
No, it was good talking to you, Indigo. It's always good to see you, and you bring a lot of energy that makes me feel like I'm just kind of moving through life like a zombie.
Oh, know.
So I'm
Well,
trying
thank
to
you.
get
I
you to
mean,
hate things like snow, so that I feel more my problems in life are more normalized by bringing you down to my level. Don't let me do it.
okay, I won't. I mean, also, this is a character. Like, this is me, but this is me on like, you know?
Ritalin? What?
Because I like to make people laugh. I'm interacting with people that I do me on like, But when I'm like with my friend, well, it depends. Like, even with my friends, I'm like, you know, but I mean, this is not a character. That's a bit
Like,
dramatic, but like.
A lot, right? Like, you'd be like, it's
Yeah, I know. That was a very good description. Like, honest, I think I went a little too in depth with that one, to be honest.
The thing is, though, it's like the word Smurf, right? It's I understood what you meant, and you didn't need to go into any more detail for me to get what you meant. So that's the point of words, right? Is to get an idea across, and that's exactly what you did.
The point of words.
So thank you.
Well, I'm glad that I bring. No, because I don't want you to feel like a zombie. I mean, if you can be one of the background dancers in Michael Jackson's Thriller, you know, like, you know. And I'll be Michael Jackson.
Two, I would not work with Michael Jackson now, you know, knowing what we know about Michael Jackson, although I
have my own opinions about that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I don't know if I believe it, but I also don't know if I don't not, you know?
Have you
so
seen
it's hard.
Finding Neverland? Wait, no.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I've also seen and heard evidence against it. So it's kind of like, you know, it's a documentary, but you have to remember, I mean, you're smarter than me, so you know this, but documentaries are persuasive.
I don't think I'm smarter than you. I think that you're doing yourself a grave injustice.
You know, and the thing happened to them.
Say that again?
I can rate, and I said with these guys, like, if what happened to them actually, like, I don't know. I hate saying that, but like, I've been through something similar like that, and so it's not like I'm not sympathetic to it, but it's just like there are certain things that I've heard about these people. But then also I know that one of the things that happens, you know, especially with celebrities, that they kind of like whenever somebody makes an accusation. Sorry, my aunt was calling me. Makes an accusation, they kind of like make them look bad or something, and like vilify them, and then turn everybody against them. I don't know. I'm being very like vague, but I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that, you know, if the opportunity were retroactively somehow...
Death of the author.
If Michael Jackson came back to life and was filming the Thriller video retroactively somehow, and somehow got in touch with me, which I'm way too old for him to be...
He's older than you. Right?
What's
You're
that?
like 71, right?
Well... I'm over 13, so I think that was his cutoff, right?
65.
So if he did get in touch with me and ask me to be a zombie in in the Thriller video, in spite of the notoriety and the fact that, you know, you live forever kind of in this what is admittedly like a great video, right, for an excellent song, I would have to turn him down. I would have to do it.
Okay.
Michael, I appreciate the offer, but I think you should, 1, sell the Neverland Ranch, 2, stop taking propofol, 3, sell Paul McCartney his songs back, and 4, you know, like, I don't know, enter some kind of rehab, get some help, because you know, you mega talented person. And it's a shame that things ended up the way that they did. And it's not that I don't have sympathy for him, because I certainly do. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, you know, anything can happen. Anything can... I'm going to make it happen right now. Bippity boppity boo, a shalakadoola falakadoola, bippity boppity boo, and I'm gonna force you to be in that Michael
Mary
Jackson.
Poppinsing and Sound of Musicking and what's with the bippity boppity boo?
I I said I'm gonna put you in the video. I like how there was no context to that. I'm gonna put you in the video. I'm gonna force you to be in the video.
By casting a spell on me. Well, see, in that case, I had no agency in the decision. So, therefore...
Special for you, Mr. Sailor! I hope I'm making people laugh right now. That's my goal.
You're either making them laugh or confusing them. Did you say you had a question for me?
I love confusing people. No, I didn't have... No, I said, Mr. Sailor, I'm going to put you in the Michael Jackson video Thriller.
So if I went back and watched the Michael Jackson video Thriller, I would just be in it. I wouldn't even have a memory of doing it. I would just be in it. We've officially gone off the deep end here, Indigo. I don't know what... I'm curious about the
Actually, I'm getting a call. Ring, 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 ring. Oh.
What does that say on there?
It's from Santa. It says WPA. Actually, I have an ASMR channel of my own, which you guys may know, Situational Audios. And I was making a role play for it, and it included this phone as a prop, but I never actually did it. So, yeah, that's why it is. Well, this I actually got this phone from Goodwill, but I put... Anyway, Santa's calling me, and I'm just leaving him rude. Has Sailor been nice or naughty? Oh.
Ask him if he's taking a shit.
He hung up, but yeah, he said you've been nice.
Well, depends who you ask.
Do you agree? He sees you when you're sleeping.
Yeah,
he knows when you're awake.
You can't do a lot of bad stuff when you're sleeping, right? So if he's just watching you when you're sleeping, that's just kind of weird and not going to get you much information, I would think.
WAP is the song.
Wait, what?
Because WPA. Okay, when I made this, I did think of WAP. Can you give us a couple lyrics, actually, Sailor? Can you give us a couple lyrics?
You want me to? I don't think you want me to.
Yes, I do. Not.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody who's in the market for that. No.
I'm not gonna say them either.
Hey, I think it's a bop. But so the video, I don't understand what it was for a video. What did it stand for in your video?
It stood for... Kidding. It stood for, like, world, control. Like, basically, the company was supposed to be, like, they controlled the world. And in the roleplay, I was a demon, and I was forcing you to be a part of the company. And, like, different people worked for it and stuff. And my first video that actually is on my channel is a vampire, and I'm a vampire, and I'm a part of the organization, or I'm not. I don't know. I don't remember. There's so much like lore in my head. I don't even remember about it. But lore.
But that video is up on Situational Audios.
I feel like that's too big of a word. But
is this a video that people can see?
The vampire one, yes. I don't really think it's ASMR though. Like I watch it, and it's just me talking and. But yeah, like it's on Situational Audios.
Situational Audios. Not
yes,
Situational Audios ASMR, just Situational Audio.
No. Actually, my first comment I ever got on that, because I used to make so the video was, the channel was originally just for me to make like audio, like ambiance sounds, like to different scenes. And so I remember like the first comment I ever got was some guy, and he was like, what a stupid channel name. Situational Audios. All ASMR is supposed to be situation.
I think that channel name is really apt.
And I responded with it, and I was like, I was way too nice to him. Huh?
I think that channel name is apt, and it lets you know what to expect, you know?
Thank you. I think it's like I feel like I'm very good with titles and names. And so I don't know, like, I think that's just like, and the thing is, at the time, I didn't think it was ASMR. I was just making sounds. Like, it was called Situational Audios because, like, I would make videos of different situations. Like, one of them was like, you're a kid and you're in class, and the classroom next to you is listening to watching the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and you're playing games. Situational. It's a situation, and I just make it so it sounds like that. That's why I called it that. But anyways, I'm talking too much.
In the background, playing the Charlie Brown theme or something like that, and then you would Foley the different parts, and you get a copyright strike for having Charlie Brown music in there?
Yeah, I just did it for fun. You know, like there would used to be this meme, like on YouTube where it would be like your parents are fighting on New Year's Eve, and it would just be like the sound, like how it would sound. And so I wanted to make videos like that, and like I would like get like different kinds of sounds, take it from videos, and like put it in. Like actually, I used an ASMR artist's voice in one of them. I forgot what it was for, but I actually do remember. But I feel like it's too specific to say. But anyways, yeah, that's what I would do. But now it's my ASMR channel, yay! And I was featured. My channel was featured in one of GB's videos because she did 100 ASMR creators. My video was there, and that's how I got like 500 subscribers. So, yeah.
That's
put that in your notebook.
That's great. I'm happy for you. I hope you get, at least 200 more.
Oh, thank you. I should. The thing is, like, I should make more videos, but I don't. Because
that is an important
at first
part
it would
of
just be, huh?
That is an important part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know but I didn't know how to form it, so yeah, that's what I was gonna do. But I don't have anywhere. Like I say that I don't have anywhere to do it. Like when I first made that video, I was in Arizona, and like I created this whole set, and I never thought I was actually gonna do it. And then one day I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make the video. Why not? And I did it, and I had a lot of fun, and I want to do it again. And I just want to make YouTube videos in general all the time. But now I haven't given, like, I used to have all this time, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? Like, I gotta make videos, and then I didn't. And now I don't have any time because I'm just working, college stuff, working, and I only have so much time for so many leisure activities I like to do, like, and so I spend it on writing or reading.
Well, literally the time that you have taken to talk to me, you could have made an ASMR video.
That's true. That is true.
Just saying.
Yeah, there's always time. There's always time. I want to, I think I should do it bit by bit.
No, it is later than you think. There's never time.
That's true.
Just an alternative
true.
perspective from a pessimist on Christmas Eve. The Scrooged version.
Christmas Eve.
Let me tell you something, Indigo. I love talking to you. You've injected me with some mirth that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I appreciate you calling, but I think I'm gonna let you go because I need to go.
I feel like you were like saying something and then you just like interrupted yourself.
I need to go do something that Santa does.
Or maybe like it cut off. Like, it doesn't matter. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know what to say. I am sad to go, but I understand that you need to leave. And actually, I have food that is getting cold because I've been waiting while you were, which is fine. But yeah, I gotta go eat. So.
Hey, I take calls to the order in which they come. So
no. Yeah, I'm not angry. Yeah, no, I'm not angry.
Well, I hope that you have a good Christmas, and thank you very much for calling Indigo. It's always
I hope you have a good Christmas too, and all you little people in the chat. I hope you guys have a good Christmas too, and thank you for making me feel like there's a community where I can just pop up and you guys all know my name. I mean, that's not rare, but yeah.
You give it to me, and then you take it away at the last second. All right, talk.
Wait,
to
I what? I didn't hear it. I what? I feel like you're about to compliment me.
No.
What do I do?
I said you give it and then you take it away right at the last second.
Oh. That's who I am.
Yep. Okay. Well,
anyways, I really love you guys, my fans.
Oh, they love you too. A lot more.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna hang up first. Bye.
Okay, you hang up. Fine. Oh. She got me. That was fun. Thank you all for calling in and listening to me ramble for a couple hours prior to the call-in. So we did a successful poll. We had some, I think, interesting conversations, and passed 3 hours on this Christmas Eve. Can we call that a success? I don't know. I'm going to call it a success. And then I'm going to, I actually need to eat. That's what I need to do. The timing of this was weird because I started at 6. I didn't think I would go this long. I honestly thought maybe I'd only go for like an hour or something. So I'm starting to get hangry. But thank you all for coming by. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. And I'm going to be doing this stuff more. I'm not going away. If I can help it. If I can't help it, then I can't help it. But if I have anything to say in the matter, I shan't be going away. And I appreciate you all. And thank you for sticking around, because I know, people can disappear and then never come back. And, there is a chance that could have happened in this situation. There's a chance it could still happen, but hopefully not. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. I'll probably do another one of these before. You know what? I'm just going to start next Wednesday. Just get back on the horse before even the new year. All right. Love you all. We'll see you all later. And take care, and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.